Sometimes I have to take a coping saw and I have to put a little bit deeper notch because these things won't stay in. There's other tools for doing that with, but I've always been able to get away with using a coping saw most of the time. Alright, these strings are still stretching, and they will be for a couple of days, but actually, all things considered, it's playing very good. And what I mean by that, you may remember this has some pretty serious fret damage up here, but I've got the string angle just about perfect. Now, since I re-drilled and changed the angle of the neck, I've got one string that rattles on the very first string, and it's because this notch in this nut is cut a little bit too deeply. So what I've done is I just wedged a little piece of paper up under that, and that brings it up just enough so it's just about perfect. Now I'm playing that, and it's not really rattling anywhere, which, if you'll recall, when I first was putting this together, it was rattling. It was very, because of these damaged frets. So the string angle is actually exactly right there. And I'm not gonna, like I've had a lot of people say, well, you put a drop of super glue in this fret and then recut that. I'm probably not gonna do that. What I'll do is I'll take a pair of fingernail snippers and I'll just snip that off and leave it right in there. As long as John, when he gets it, knows about that, he can, if he wants to do the, the super glue trick, whatever, or if he wants to just make sure he keeps a little piece of paper in there, or if he wants to play it with a capo, which is what we talked about. The strings will be stretching for a few days. Actually pretty darn good. I'm thinking, oh, and I went back with the original tailpiece. I talked about putting that no knot on there, but the original tailpiece kind of comes down and it hides that screw that I put back here, so this really doesn't look like anything's been changed, so that's a good thing. So I'm thinking about all I need to do now is just let this thing sit for a day or two and let the strings settle down, play a little bit, and then send it back home. Awesome. Let me clean up my mess, and we might, well, like I say, we'll let that stretch a few days and we'll go from there. I think that covered about everything. Okay, so there's that.